inspired. Perfectly known. Recognized. Seen. Unconditionally loved. Any lower frequencies released through the exhalations, released through the soles of the feet to Gaia Mother Earth to recycle, refresh, restore, repurpose. No longer needed if they're no longer for your highest and best good. Too heavy a burden to carry. If you're willing, take 3 to 4 to 5 exhalations out of all that no longer serves, being certain to release all that through the soles of your feet and the exhalations. 3 to 4 to 5 exhalations in a row, slow and deliberate. Upon completion of that, be sure to breathe in the inhalation of the divine, sacred, and holy breath, which now has more room, more sway, more impact, more space to work in, through, and as your very life. It knows where to go to make all the crooked pathways straight. It knows what's most needed by your soul at your journey at this destination in this moment. If you're willing, just allow it and accept it. Invite it. Permit it. Revel in it. Imagine what it would be like to be held in the arms of the divine, in the energy of the divine. Can you handle all the goodness? Can you handle all the joy? Are you willing to embrace all the abundance? What will you do with all the unconditional love? How about the divine right action? Will you embrace all the levels of healing, transformation, insight, demonstration, revelation? Grace. A surety. Ease. Calm. Poise. Confidence. Spiritual acuity. Wisdom. Insight. Eternality. And so important again to exhale all lower frequencies, vibrations. Let's wipe the soles of the feet to Gaia Mother Earth if you can, if you're able. Releasing anything left in the unconscious, subconscious that's ready to be released, no longer needed, no longer of service to you for your highest and best good. And with our inhalation, let's breathe in joy and gratitude. Gratitude for any insight or shared wisdom, any aha moments, all healings. We continue to breathe in gratitude. Even with our exhalations, we breathe in more gratitude and joy. You may want to just flex the shoulder muscles up and down a couple times if you can. Bring ourselves back to the body temple more fully and completely. And when you're ready and in your own time, allow the outer eyelids to gently open. You may want to wiggle in the chair. Be certain we can feel the chair supporting us. And how grateful I am to each of you for participating in today's meditation. Knowing that the sanctuary is a place for healing, as all who enter are able to receive all the goodness that you've infused by your participation this day. And this concludes the meditation portion of today's service. To each of you, namaste.
Look at the person next to you. Say, God loves you and I love you too. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice, repeat after me. We come together, we come together, we come together in the name of love. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, I recognize the God in you. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice, repeat after me. We come together, we come together, we come together in the name of love. We come together, we come together, we come together in the name of love. From every walk of life, every creed and color, in kinship we unite, in honor of the love of each other. Look at the person next to you. Say, namaste, I bow to you. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice, repeat after me. We come together, we come together, we come together in the name of love. We come together, we come together, we come together in the name of love. Oh yeah, wind it up now. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Yeah, 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 yeah. Everybody, get up on your feet now. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey. soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome. Oh, my soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. I am getting a message loud and clear. Getting a message loud and clear. Getting a message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Come on, shake 'em, shake 'em.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our spiritual center here in Redlands, California. Thank you to everyone joining us live in our beautiful sanctuary and to those who follow us on Facebook Live or watch remotely on YouTube. My name is Holly, and it is truly an honor and a privilege to welcome you to our Sunday celebration service. Hi. We are a new thought spiritual community, and all-inclusive to all the spiritual truths from all the world's religious traditions and spiritual paths. We focus on the philosophy of the science of mind, which was developed in the early 20th century by writer and lecturer Reverend Dr. Ernest Holmes, who developed a fresh new way for us to look at ourselves and how we fit in the world. We honor all people from every background, all races, sexual orientations, gender expressions, and spiritual paths. No matter who you are or where you are on your journey of faith, you are always welcome here. If you are here with us for the first time, please raise your hand and allow us to properly greet you. Hello. We are delighted to have you with us today, and a gentle reminder to please silence your phones. Thank you.
All hail Queen Holly. So it's time for our centering music. Kind of set our intention for the day. Just relax and hear your heart beat. Feel the movement in the quiet and the still. Take a breath. Release it slowly. There is nothing here to do, no need to fill. Every moment is a fantasy that's of our own device. It's gone in the twinkling of an eye. Every memory's just make-believe, the stuff of hopes and fears that we've chosen to enshrine. I wonder why. Be at peace for a moment. For a moment's all we have. A moment's all we have. A moment's all we have, and ever will.
So let's continue by taking in that moment with the divine, sacred, and holy breath. Just do that for yourselves as a treat. We inhale the divine, sacred, and holy moment. Everything that is divine, sacred, and holy, available to us by our breathing, our inhalation, nearer to us in our own hands and feet. I know that this power and this presence, this love and this grace powers me, fuels me, powers you, fuels you, created you whole, complete, and perfect. Nothing missing, lacking, needing, or wanting. It's from this place of unification and oneness that I speak a word of blessing for today's service, for each of us and all of us. Knowing that it is the Spirit's good pleasure to grant us any wish that we're able to hold in our conscious awareness. So anything that you've come to receive this day, just know the universe is always just awaiting three-letter word, yes, yes, yes. The divine is always awaiting to impress itself in us, through us, and as us, in a bigger, bolder, and brighter, more magnificent way, in a more whole with a W and holy way with the H. It's by our willingness to be able to have the space to allow it, to create an empty space in what we think we know should be full, that we fill for ourselves. So I'm asking each person today to create whatever space you're willing for Spirit to move and operate in, through, and as your very life, to have more blessings, more revelations, more wholeness, more abundance, more joy, more wealth, more grace. More wellness. Calling forth divine right work for all those seeking employment, calling forth divine right housing for all those seeking that, calling forth divine right relationships for all those in search of that and in those, calling forth for crooked pathways to be made straight and easy with ease and grace and joy, knowing that Spirit knows a way. We'll call forth for Spirit to make a way ahead of us wherever we go, so that there's only joy waiting. Thinking of the yellow brick road, sending Spirit ahead to make it known to us. Do I take a slight right? Do I veer left? Do I go forward? Always going forward. And so, as we always do, I invite us to also know the idea about peace, which must start within ourselves. So let's breathe that idea of peace with a capital P in, the peace that passes human understanding. Bring it into our relationships, our family units that we have, both biological families and also the created tribal families. Our relationships, all of them, including friendships, romance, marital relationships. Breathe this peace into our workplaces, into our modes of transportation, whatever they are. And now we take peace through our city. Peace cannot be withheld, so it's already started to go to other cities nearby. Take it through the state. See the energetic of peace disperse through the roof of this place, through the open doors, in a loving way, calling forth other seekers that are speaking this word about peace right now. They're doing it everywhere in town. They're doing it everywhere throughout the world. Let's unite with that peace to create billions and billions and billions of energetic units of peace that transform, transmute, and transfix all lower frequencies and vibrations into peace itself with a capital P, into the divine peace that passes human understanding. Take it through now the oceans, the seas, the galaxies, the stars. We're going worldwide. See the globe in your mind's eye just covered in divine light and love, intelligence of peace. See leaders, world leaders, make decisions and change policies toward and for peace now. No explanation is required. It's a divine revelation. Peace. Peace. Call it forth in any language you may speak. Paz. Mir. Call forth for your own name out in the sanctuary space now, Brother Mark. Just say it out loud so your solar plexus can hear it. And if you're willing, say those that you're holding in prayer this day out loud into the space as well. And Gabe, Margaret, we continue to bless our two sister centers in Ukraine. Continue to hold Vladimir in the highest. He's the son of the practitioner Tatiana. They sent a message, if you would like to see it later. It's a short video in a trench. And Vladimir is in service to free his country and sharing his lunch with a stray cat. And they sent that video to us. It says, kindness will triumph over evil. Peace in Ukraine and on planet Earth. Let's know that idea with them. We join with them. David's going to show that video. It's one of the more remarkable things I've ever seen. They're thinking about us in a trench.
Все зробив собі сніданочок, мівінку з супчиком. І ось прийшла теж снідає. Забрала в мене яловичину з перловкою, випросила, тут ще десь чорняве маленьке. Кабаноси випросила, зараза. Отак і живемо. Да? Що ти лупаєш на мене? Їж давай. Ну. Сьогодні змінився вже, 6:30 десь. Та зараз буду відпочивати. Ну і снідати, що тут мій сніданочок?
It ends there.
Париться.
So we hold this idea that if we can be thought of there, isn't that powerful? So let's know this idea of peace must prevail and stand on the rock of truth together until it is made true and so and done. I call forth for the entire service to continue with ease and grace, blessing Al, the incredible musical inspiration that you are, the multi-level inspiration that you are. And I bless our speaker, Phill, this day, for he has a message he'd like to share, and we have a platform from where he may share that with us to uplift and transmute any lower frequencies into the highest idea of divine intelligence and insight for all. So let's just celebrate together this day with a grateful heart. I invite you to breathe in the idea of gratitude for the longest prayer plus video. And I release my word to the law of life, indeed knowing it is fulfilled and expecting it to be true, and so, and invite you to say together with me, and so it is. And we can say what we say to close all the meditations. They say, itak and no ais. Do you want itak and no ais? Itak and no ais. And so it is. That's how they say, and so it is. On our, I believe it's a Russian translation for our meditation calls together with Ukraine. And now I invite up our board member, Holly, who's vice president, right? And you have two titles, vice president and secretary of the board, to do the reading. Thank you, Holly.
I was really moved by the kitten. Be curious about what more is possible for you. Let that curiosity be your compass, guiding you beyond the familiar landscapes of your life into the uncharted territory of your potential. Imagine your journey not as a straight line, but as an unfolding mystery, where each step reveals more of what lies beyond your sight. In this space of wonder, there are no limits, only the vast open sky of what could be. Curiosity is the spark that ignites transformation. It dares you to ask questions about the world and yourself. What else am I capable of? What dreams have I yet to dream? What pieces of my soul have I yet to uncover? It invites you to peel back the layers of doubt and fear that have kept you confined, to look deeper and wider, to see with the eyes of a child who believes that magic is always just around the corner. To be curious about what more is possible is to live in a state of wonder and keep your heart and open mind, and keep your heart and mind open to the idea that your story is still being written, and the best chapters may be unwritten. It's an invitation to dance with uncertainty, to let go of the need to know all the answers, and instead to relish the questions. It's the belief that life has surprises in store for you, treasures hidden in the folds of every day, waiting to be discovered when you dare to look a little closer, to dream a little bigger. When cultivating curiosity, you allow yourself to grow beyond the borders of who you were yesterday. You create space for new experiences, connections, and revelations about your capabilities. You become a seeker, a traveler on the path of your own becoming, unafraid to wander off the beaten trail in search of the extraordinary. So be curious about what more is possible for you. Let that curiosity be a prayer, a wish, a flame that never goes out. Let it be the force that whispers to you in the quiet moments, reminding you that there is always more to explore, learn, and become. Know that your potential is as limitless as the sky, and your journey is just beginning. Embrace the wonder of not knowing exactly where you're headed, but trusting that it will be somewhere extraordinary wherever it leads. Written by Katie Camara.
Look past our problems and we see the light. We got a loving thing, we gotta feel it right. There ain't no danger, we can go too far. So start believing now and we can be who we are. Peace is the word. Some think that life is always filled with pain. Why don't they understand? It's just a cry and shame. My lips ain't lying, only real is real. So stop the fighting now and learn to be what we feel. Peace is the word. Peace is the word that you heard. It's got truth, it's got meaning. Peace is the time, is the place, is emotion, and peace is the way we are feeling. We take the pressure and we throw away conventionality. Belongs to yesterday. There is a chance that we can take it far, so start believing now and just be who you are. Peace is the word. Peace is the word that you heard. It's got truth, it's got meaning. Peace is the time, is the place, is emotion. Peace is the way we are feeling. This is a life of illusion, making up trouble, laced with confusion. What are we doing here? We take the pressure and we throw away conventionality to yesterday. There is a chance that we can take it far, so start believing now and just be who you are. Peace is the word. Peace is the word that you heard. It's got truth, it's got meaning. Peace is the time, is the place, is emotion. Peace is the way we are feeling. Peace is the word that you heard. It's got truth, it's got meaning. Peace is the time, is the place, is emotion. Peace is the way we are feeling. Peace is the word, is the word, is the word. Peace is the word, is the word, is the word. Peace is the word, is the word, is the word.
Beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, Al Yankee, thank you so much. And come on up, Phil. It's time. Our board member, Phill Courtney, has a message for the day. Let's welcome Phil to the pulpit.
Good morning, everybody. It's great to be here today. I have a little supplementary light here. This is actually supplied by the center. CSL Redlands, a faith, a philosophy, a way of life. Has anybody seen one of these? Yeah. I would add, and a way to shed some light on the world. Am I closer? Okay. How's that? Testing. All right. Some of you know I've been a published opinion writer since high school, and just recently I've started again with the Redlands Community News. Just happens that this week I'm appearing. I didn't plan this. My opinion piece today, this week, saving the world one tree at a time. So you can pick that up where I do at the KB Liquors down in the corner here, and for free. I was just informed this morning that they're now giving them away free, which I hope doesn't reflect on the values of my opinions. Today, I've got an essay for you that has not been published. It's a little too long for the Redlands Community News, but this is the piece I wrote, and I'd like to thank Mark for giving me a chance to share it with you all today. I thought it was very relevant to some of the messages we share here, although this man was not a science minder. There's a lot of cross-pollination with what he had to say in his book. Among the numerous, this is called Your Kids, My Kids, and Joey Brown's Kids. Among the numerous stored boxes of books I've been keeping in the garage, in one that's labeled Signed Editions, is a book I acquired after the passing of my mother's father in 1970. Ever since then, I've been intending to read it, and finally, this year, I did. My mother was an only child of Stuart Raymond, whom most people, including my father, called Ray, a cheerful man who delighted in his grandchildren and worked for many years in the retail business, his most enduring job being that of a suit salesman at the Silverwoods department store in downtown Los Angeles. And is the photo appearing behind me? Thank you, Iris. Which opened its first store there in 1894. Oh, wow, David has set up a multimedia presentation. I can see it myself. That expanded to many locations before closing in 1992. Apparently, based on a sales sticker in that book, and by what's written in another signed first edition he'd acquired then from that period, he'd also worked for a time at the Broadway department store, where, among his other duties, he created some displays for the book department there. The book I recently read is titled Your Kids and Mine. And here's my copy right here. And it was written by the famous Hollywood film comedian from the 1930s and 40s, sadly not so famous now, named Joe E. Brown. Anybody recognize that face? Yeah. Often remembered for his huge mouth and yell, a cheerful smile, and an optimistic attitude towards life. The other signed edition is called The Gay Illiterate by Luella Parsons. Does anybody want to go to the front of the class and tell me if they knew who Luella Parsons was? Way back there, my wife. She's cheating because she's my wife. No. Who was she, Noni? Right. She was a rival of Hedda Hopper. There's a name probably some of you will click in. Luella was the other. They didn't like each other, of course. Who at the time was a hugely popular syndicated Hollywood gossip columnist for the William Randolph Hearst newspaper chain, as my wife just said. In the book, it is signed to Ray. Thank you for your wonderful display. I finished the Parsons book also this year. As for the Brown book, Joey Brown, which was his actual name, the E stood for Evans, was born in 1892 into a large family in Ohio and began delighting audiences early when, at the age of 10, he joined a circus tumbling act. There he is with his family. From there, he began performing in vaudeville and then eventually comedic roles in plays on Broadway. He was also such a talented baseball player that for a time he played as a semi-pro and was even scouted by the New York Yankees. Eventually deciding, though, that his true calling was showbiz. However, that background in baseball served him well during his later film career in Hollywood when he starred in 3 of his most popular movies as a baseball player. Although he was among the top 10 most profitable movie stars in the 30s and 40s, by the time his style of comedy was waning in the late 30s, he turned to supporting roles in which he acted steadily for the remainder of his career. His best remembered character today was Osgood Fielding III in 1959's classic Billy Wilder comedy, Some Like It Hot, with Jack Lemmon and Tony Curtis. As a cheerful but daffy millionaire, which played perfectly into Brown's longtime Phill persona, set in the Roaring '20s, Lemmon and Curtis devise a plan to hide from gangsters who, in a plot twist, are pursuing them by disguising themselves as women. It worked, but Lemmon encounters an unexpected problem along the way when Osgood thinks she's an actual woman and falls for her. Lemmon, driven to desperation by Osgood's relentless pursuit, finally whips off his wig and shouts to the millionaire that he's actually a woman. Not actually a woman. However, Osgood doesn't miss a beat, responding optimistically, "Well, nobody's perfect," in one of cinema's most memorable concluding punchlines. But before Brown found a second career in supporting roles, he found another calling in the United States entered World War II. Being too old to enlist, he decided that the best way he could serve his country would be to entertain the troops around the world with his antics. There we go. He was a smash, even beating Bob Hope to the punch, who would later become our nation's most best remembered wartime court jester during the Second World War and in all the others afterwards through Vietnam. In '44, Brown and accumulated many stories, and he put them in this book, Your Kids and Mine. And he hits early on his most tragic personal story of the war. After the war broke out, Don, one of his two sons, had with his wife he'd married in 1915 and remained with until his death in 1973, had been a star athlete at UCLA and then volunteered for duty, training as an Army Air Force pilot. Tragically, on October 8th, 1942, Brown received word that his son had been killed, ironically, not in combat, but while flying solo on a routine mission, transport mission, and his Douglas A-40 Havoc went down near Palm Springs. Brown does not explain what happened, and I've been unable to find any reason for the accident. In a moving chapter of his book, which he considered leaving out, but then decided it was important to include, only to explain how he deals with his own loss for others who may have gone through similar experiences. He writes that he didn't remember much about the next 40 hours while numb from disbelief and then denial over the death of someone who was so full of life. After much comforting from his fans, family, and friends, and fellow flyers, Brown had a vision in which he sees that despite the grief, he must continue to bring joy and laughter to the many others who needed it so desperately during some of history's darkest hours. I knew that as long as there is a breath in my body, I shall go down clowning and strutting and screaming my loudest, if that's what makes people laugh. And he writes, concluding his chapter with this book, now for the rest of the war was to banish tears with laughter. From there, the book continues with many more accounts of what happened while he entertained. Traveling from Alaska to China and back, stories of performing in gales so strong they almost blew him off the stage, swarms of insects in the South Pacific while performing in the dark because he couldn't find lighting. Well, amidst of all of this is both laughter and the tears. One story tells of a grievously wounded soldier with his inside so badly torn up by bullets that the hospital staff gave him virtually no chance of survival, who Brown, ever the eternal optimist, says he'll visit anyway and gives him a one-man performance, which cheers him up so much he had a brief rally before finally succumbing back in the States. Then, while in Italy, Brown recounts the poignant story of a little Italian girl begging for food because her father knew she had a better chance of getting some handouts while he was too proud to beg when he didn't have to, and he hid behind a tree. The tragic outcome of this story comes when Brown explains that her only toy was a bundle of twigs that she treated like a doll after an American soldier had fashioned it for her. When she's later mortally wounded while picking up an exploding grenade, the soldier is heartbroken, thinking that if he'd only made 2 dolls for her and both her hands had been full, she wouldn't have picked up the grenade. The book also includes the 5 bombing missions that Brown was allowed to go on. They come after the many attempts he'd made to go in honor of his son, and the many times these requests were shot down, so to speak, by top brass, citing the risks and what a fiasco it would be to lose a civilian celebrity on such a mission. Finally, Brown lands a meeting with General MacArthur himself, who, seeing how much it would mean to Brown, gave the green light. After the war, Brown became one of only 2 civilians to receive the Bronze Star, and in the final chapter of the book, he recounts his invitation to dinner in 1944, the location of which is revealed only at the end of the last paragraph in a surprise Paul Harvey, "That's the end of the story" twist ending by revealing he'd been invited to the White House. But before the final chapter, this famous comedian conjures up some thoughts, both philosophical and theological, that are actually quite eloquent and moving. In the 2 previous chapters, while musing on the losses, the tragedies, and yes, the heroism of war, and what's sometimes called the nobility of man, he finds comfort in some of the ideas that came to him. Quote, "When I tried to explain to myself what I have seen happening to our boys," he writes, "it seems to me not only that I have found religion, but they have found something in themselves. I don't know how to say it any more clearly than that. Perhaps people are religion." And he adds that God is worshipped best when you see man at his best, and women these days. When everything outside of hardship and danger, he continues, excuse me, I'll get this mic. "These boys often find inside themselves some shadow of the kingdom of heaven, which Jesus said was within. You see it in their faces. You touch the substance of their faith. When you are in danger with them, they don't speak about it in religious terms, but if you understand, if you experience faith yourself, you see the evidence of it." But despite these thoughts, he does not soft pedal or downplay one of the most ignoble acts of man, which he had seen so much of firsthand, the atrocities of war. During his focal point, using this as the focal point, both of the story of the little Italian girl, death by grenade, and the grief suffered by the soldier who'd made her the doll, Brown frankly acknowledges that they could not save all the children from hand grenades any more than we could feed them all. No matter how many dolls men make for their little hands, he writes, concluding the chapter, no matter how much men try to save them with love, children will never be safe until other men stop making hand grenades, until they stop making them forever. But he writes, to see that happen, we must recognize what he had seen and what he had recognized so clearly during the war, that love is the strongest power on earth. I kept thinking that someday there will be a new way of governing the world, not by force, not by fear, but by the wonderful power of love, so simple that we miss it unless we see it in some italics. Unfortunately now, as we approach almost 100 years after Brown wrote those words, much of the world has yet to heed them. Children continue to starve. Children continue to be blown to bits by bombs, hand grenades, and the landmines we have yet to ban, along with wars that brought them. But, like Joe E. Brown, somehow, despite it all, I too remain optimistic and believe that someday we'll all recognize that every kid who dies throughout the world is one of our kids. That boy in Gaza is our son. That girl in Ukraine is our daughter. All members of the same extended family. And I thank you, Joey Brown, for continuing to remind us. And thank you for listening.
Thank you, Phil.
Yeah. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Iris, for keeping those visuals going.
So wasn't Joey Brown the guy who went, whoa, boy? Whoa, boy.
Okay, so now it's time for our offering. I want to thank everyone for being with us this morning. There's an affirmation that'll come up on the screen. It's also not too late to keep giving if you'd like for Ukraine, the Ukraine centers. It's in an acrylic box in the back. You may drop a tithe above your normal tithing if you wish. And here it is. From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper. It is evidence of my faith and my belief. It does great work in the world, and it returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is.
Thank you for giving. Thank you for receiving. And thank you for being who you are. Thank you for breathing. And thank you for believing. Thank you for being who you are. The universe is flowing with love that's ever growing, and you are the vessel of that love. So thank you for caring, and bless you for your sharing, and thank you for being who you are. Thank you for being who you are.
So now I invite the congregation to outstretch our hands toward the offerings received. We bless them as sufficient to continue the great work of this spiritual center. 70 years, can you believe it, in Redlands? Let's do another 70 plus plus. Can you see it? Can you feel it? Together we proclaim it by saying, and so it is. Takanoes. Okay, and so a couple quick things, and we'll go on to the announcements. Holly, come on up. If you're watching remotely, you can click on the Donate Now button or whatever button David puts in the chat. Let us know from where you're watching. I wanted to read briefly from Ludmila, one of the centers that received the funds already by Western Union in Ukraine. She sent a message, and I printed it in case you want to see it. And the translation goes something like this. It says, "Greetings, my dear friends. Many thanks from all of us. I received the money. It's wonderful. I love you. I hug you. Your help gives us confidence in the oneness of life, and that the world is ruled by love." And she said, "Blessings to you." That's from Ludmila. She's a wonderful person. So now, if you would also, the board meeting is next week, so if somebody watching wanted to become an official member of the center, you can fill out a brief form today and submit it to anybody here, and we'll get it to the board for approval next week. That's next Sunday. Okay, Holly, come on up for the announcements, and thank you everybody for your time and attention today.
Woot woot. Woot woot.
Thank you, Rick. Excuse me. Mark your calendars to attend November 1st, All Saints Spectacular. I'm Saints, yay. For the screening of the movie Dracula with, that's really sainty. Oh, sorry. I think it starts at 6. Does it start at 6? When does the movie start? So we're here at 6. Is it a potluck? Bring what? Oh, bring garlic and a crucifix. I'm sorry, Mark. Mark, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I shouldn't do that. Okay. Well, you need to get rid of the. Okay, sorry. So, yes, that's going to be fun. And then we're also going to have, I don't see where it says karaoke and singing.
Okay, here, let's just, right here. Right here, come here.
Well, that's the second one.
Yeah.
The first one, we're going to have karaoke and open mic. That's for Friday night. Okay, and then the next day at 2 p.m., we're having the Inland Empire Almanac Election Edition right here in our sanctuary. Did you want to say
No, go
something? Okay. And we are having our snacks and potluck after service, but we will have it in the hall next door. And you're invited to stand for the closing song called Peace. Let there be peace on earth.
I have one announcement before we do that. I want everyone to know, and this is also for those that are online, to date we have already raised $1,800 for Ukraine. So that's pretty awesome. Yay. So keep on giving, but that is really, really beautiful. And there's a lot of participation that came from our Redlands community as well. So thank you.
I was going to say something. Yeah, I was going to say something. I don't know.
You gonna add something else?
No, but Lisa has a beautiful shirt about.
So, Phil, were you gonna?
We're going to explain this a little bit. Will you show off your peace shirt over there? We got to spotlight this shirt. Whoa! Where did you get that? Venice, that sounds like Venice Beach. All right.
The artist that painted it is Peace Within. Her name is
Wow.
Phyllis Luck.
Well, I've asked Al to lay his updated version of the peace song on us today. And we're actually, some of us are rusty on the one we used to sing 30 years ago. I sang this with my parents. We haven't done this one in a while, so we need to face the screen rather than standing in a circle so we can all follow along. Yeah. All right. So I encourage you to stand up and link hands, but face the screen so we don't blow it on the word.
Right. Those of you who are familiar with it, sing loud. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that will set us free. We care for each other, family all are we. Move I know peace begins with me, so let me be peaceful now. With every breath I take, let this be my solemn vow, to live each moment, express each moment the peace we all can be. Let there be peace on earth, and let